Hi everyone, Deacon Ed McCormick here at St. John the Baptist on this beautiful afternoon. I want to share with you one powerful way to transform your faith during this Advent season. I'm mindful of the fact that many people can't get to Mass. Some people are watching it on video. It's not really the same. So I want to suggest to you one practice that really can have an impact on your faith and grow your faith life. And this practice has to do with reading the Sunday readings before coming to Mass or viewing Mass. And I want to give you 5 reasons why this can really supercharge your faith life. Here's the first one. It will change your experience of Mass. If you read the first reading, which is usually an Old Testament one, and then the second reading, often from Paul or from Acts, and then the Gospel. If you read that over a couple of times before Mass, it will impact your experience of Mass dramatically. I run a Saturday morning Bible group, a men's group, from 7:30 in the morning till 8:30 in the morning. And all we do is pray over and read and discuss the Sunday Gospel readings. And what I keep hearing from these men is how much it has changed their experience of Mass. They now all of a sudden pay attention to the readings. The readings mean something to them. And then that impacts their experience of the homily, of Eucharist, and the rest of their lives. So that's the first reason. Here's the second way it will impact your life. If you start to read these readings regularly as we go through the liturgical year, it will open up for you the riches of the Bible, especially if you're Catholic, because as Catholics we don't read the Bible, we're not familiar with it. But if you do this practice, you will suddenly discover that the Bible isn't a book, but a library written by different people at different times for different reasons, using all kinds of different genres. It's filled with narrative and beautiful poetry and history and mythology. It's loaded with all kinds of images and stories that can speak to your experience. Just read the Psalms, and you will find almost every human emotion is mentioned in that poetry. So that's the second reason. It can open up for you the riches of the Bible. Here's a third one that is connected to the second one. There is an assumption that many hold, especially Catholics, about the Bible. It goes back to Marcion, and it's this. The assumption is that the God of the Old Testament is this angry, judgmental God, and the God of the New Testament is this God of love and mercy. And as you start to read the Sunday readings and get exposed more regularly to the Old Testament, you realize that simplistic caricature collapses. That the God of the New Testament is so much more than that. This is the creator of the universe. This is the God who speaks to us through the prophets. This is the God who frees Israel from captivity and is on the side of the slaves and the poor. This is the God who promises to forgive and renew and restore all things. So it really can change and break down really unsubstantiated views of the Old Testament. And here's the fourth reason why I encourage you to take up this practice. If you start to read the Sunday readings as we go through the liturgical year, through Advent and Lent and ordinary time, you will start to pick up on how Jesus is constantly making references to Old Testament events and images and stories in order to explain who he is and what he's doing. And you'll start to notice how the gospel writers and Paul are constantly making references to the Old Testament to explain who Jesus is and what he means for us and our world. For instance, this past Sunday, we see the opening of Mark's Gospel, in which Mark explains who John the Baptist is by quoting chapter 40 of Isaiah, where Isaiah says, "Comfort, give comfort to my people, a voice of one crying in the desert, make way the path of the Lord." And Mark identifies John the Baptist as the one in the desert who was speaking and calling us to turn to Jesus, who is coming into our lives to liberate us. So here's the fifth and final reason, and I hope from what I've said it should start to become obvious. If you engage in this very easy, regular practice, you will start to find your own faith starts to come alive, starts to expand. All of a sudden, Jesus may start to become real for you. All of a sudden, what the gospel writers and Paul are saying starts to speak to you personally. What I regularly hear from the guys in our men's group is how they notice how rich these readings are, how they're loaded with powerful images and stories that speak to their experience and their lives. So give it a try. If you want to find the Sunday readings, you can go to the USCCB website, the bishop's website, and every reading is right there. Buy a Bible. Get yourself more than one Bible and try it. I promise you, it will transform your experience of Mass, the way you view the Bible, your experience of Jesus, and your own life.